I was more concerned about the compliance based questions as they need us to remember compliance, like which compliance covering which industry. PCI DSS, for example, is for credit card industry, and then we have HIPAA for health. So I was really scared of this question because, like I said, I am a cloud architect. So in my day to day work, we normally don't talk about PCI. Hello all, welcome to the last episode of Get Certified Together program by Technicoff. It's so good to finally record this whole podcast in my own voice. I am recording this episode 14 using my own setup. So till now I was using AI voice. You might have guessed the way that AI program was talking from episode 1 to 13. But now I finally thought, okay, it's good time to speak something myself and let my listeners know how I actually sounds like. So this episode I'll be recording myself, and as I promised you, first of all, apologies. It's quite late. I promised, I think, in September that I'll be recording next episode where I'll be sharing my whole experience of CompTIA exam, and it's almost November now, so I'm extremely sorry, first of all. But better late than never. I really want to share my experience, and I also, meanwhile, during this whole duration, I was planning of my next series, which again I promised in episode 13, related more towards cloud security. I myself is a cloud architect, and I am very much interested in how really cloud security looks like, and so that cloud security I want to cover. I'm thinking whether it should be part of the same series or a different series altogether, but that's something which I'll sort of plan and sort out later. But yeah, so this episode I'll only be sharing about how CompTIA exam really look like, what kind of questions came when I actually gave that exam, and is it really like expert level exam, or should you have a like basic knowledge of information security or cybersecurity as a whole, then it should work for you. So let me just share my experience to you guys here. So first of all, just to mention here that I gave my exam on 6th June 2022, and I didn't pass with flying colors, to be honest. Let me just recall. So it was maximum marks is 900, and I sort of got 770 while passing limit was 750. Yeah, so I just cleared the exam with another 20 marks, and that actually cleared a lot of doubts in my mind, because I thought, reading all the blogs and giving some sample exams online, I thought that this exam will be quite easy. Questions will be straightforward, like what kind of hashing algorithm have this length of bits, or what kind of after risk identification, what you will do next step in incident planning. Actually it was not. An exam had questions which were tricky, which were not straightforward, and to be honest, I remember quite clearly, somewhere in middle of the exam I was pretty sure that I really I really I shouldn't say that word, but I really fucked that up, and I'm not gonna pass this exam because it was quite tricky. So it doesn't matter that even if you have gone through the whole episode and you have read yourself the whole documentation, still you should prepare yourself with the mindset that you have to read the questions properly, and answers are not straightforward. If I be brutal here, you need to get your concepts clear. You can pass this exam. So first thing first, let me tell a few things about what you need to do before the exam. So now with COVID, we all are moving towards remote proctor based examinations, but for me personally, all the exams which I have given so far in my career, I have given all remote proctor based, so I am quite familiar how those things work. But so you need to make few things clear. You first need to ensure that you are sitting in a quiet room. You cannot sit outside and just give exam. It should be quiet room. You should be alone in that room. You either can send photographs using your mobile app, or you can take photographs from your webcam, and you need to send those photographs across to the remote proctor to show them that you are actually alone in the room. Your table must be cleared. You can't keep any sort of like even watches or your mobile phones or even a piece of blank paper. You cannot put anything on the table. It only should be your laptop and your mouse, not even earphones. If you want to talk to them or they want to talk to you about something, they to use your laptop speakers or your desktop speakers, but you cannot use earphones. So make sure your desk is clear, everything is clean, and you're good to go before starting the exam. Otherwise, remote proctor will ask you to like reschedule or clean few things up. Some things is not looking right. You have to put this stuff on other side of the table, something like that. So make sure all those things. And believe me, if get into this scenario where someone is asking you to change few things before you actually start your exam, then it's not a good start, and you need to make sure that you start with a peace of mind, because it happened to me not in this exam but in my TOGAF exam, where my system actually was sort of started updating in between, and that really changed my whole mindset. I completely forgot about the exam, and I was only thinking about how to bring it up and how can I contact to remote proctor that to tell them that I'll be starting after 20 minutes. So make sure your whole infrastructure is ready before you are beginning your examination. So once that verification will be done, a window will pop up on your laptop that exam is now activated. You are good to start. Just click next and just go on with all the questions. So like I said, exam covered all the topic which I covered in episode 1 to 13. So you have a good idea till now that what kind of topics and what kind of scenarios or what different concepts are covered in this exam. So exams will be from all those topic itself. There won't be any surprise question or surprise topic coming from outside. There will be a few drag and drop questions. So maybe a table on one side and empty boxes on another side, and you have to drag and drop. Or there may be a scenarios where they will show a network layout and they will point to one particular interface and ask you that there is a huge number of packets coming on this interface. What kind of attack it is? Is it like a Mac flooding attack, or it is a scenario of DDoS? So there will be these kind of scenario based questions. So again, I'm telling you, it's not straightforward. For me personally, like I told you, right, half time I was completely in this mindset that I really am failing this exam. I cannot pass it because the questions were not straightforward, and even if you attempt those, even if you are quite sure that you did them correctly, still sometime you will feel that maybe I'm not right. You will have those kind of doubts in mind. So for giving you example, for first 3 questions itself, I took 10 to 15 minutes. You can understand, right? That's like worst start you can get for your exam, where everything is time bound and you have to finish all the questions, and you are taking 15 minutes just to finish 3 questions. So it started that slowly for me. I was really trying to understand what is being asked, and you have to read the questions properly. Okay, there might be a small note or small word which will change the whole question understanding. So you need to make sure that you read the question properly. Even if you miss one single word or one single letter, then that means you completely might be giving a wrong answer which is not even asked in the question. So make sure you read the questions properly. So you need to have a good understanding of network architecture, protocols, encryption methods, everything. Okay, so for me, if you ask me on the rate of like a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest and 5 being highest, few questions I can say were somewhere from 1 to 1.5. So it's not like whole exam is quite tough. Whole exam will cover scenarios, and you have to push your mind for whole duration about to the full limit of understanding. It's not like that. There will be a few straightforward easy questions as well, so those will give you kind of like refresh yourself and make you bit better while attempting the questions. So you will get easy questions as well. Don't worry about that. There were really few good questions related to digital signature, risk mitigation strategies, and governance. So don't skip those topics. So even in my podcast covering those topics related to governance and risk mitigation strategies, I told that this topic is quite long and quite boring, but you need to understand that. You need to get a good understanding of all the concepts related to governance, related to compliance, because you will get questions on them, and make sure you attempt them properly and you give the correct answers. I was more concerned about the compliance based questions, as they need us to remember compliance, like which compliance is covering which industry. PCI DSS, for example, is for credit card industry, and then we have HIPAA for health. So I was really scared of this question because, like I said, I am a cloud architect. So in my day-to-day work, we normally don't talk about PCI DSS or what kind of compliance my cloud is using. We don't have those kind of conversation in our work, and I was scared because that is something new, and I was in this dilemma that maybe I'll get confused in the exam when these questions will come. Luckily for me, there was no questions related to compliance, but make sure you don't miss them. Again, I am saying, because maybe it didn't came for me in those set of exam, but it may came for you. So make sure. There was a question related to data loss prevention, and there were actually a lot of questions related to whole data protection life cycle. So, and as part of info security team, I repeated in my previous episodes as well, you need to make sure that you understand data life cycle properly. Even in cloud security exam, CCSP exam, which I'll be covering in my next podcast series, there is a whole topic related to data life cycle. So make sure you understand data life cycle, or anything related to data security. You need to cover those topics thoroughly. And do remember, those questions which are related to data are again not straightforward. So you need to understand those questions, what is being actually asked in those questions. Make sure you understand that. Okay, so now my favorite topic related to clouds. There were a few questions related to cloud types and different kind of services related to cloud. Remember IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS services. So those questions also will come in the exam. So make sure you read about cloud as well. You should have good understanding of cloud. And last but not least, let's talk about what actually is security. Security is related to attacks and what kind of different type of attacks you can have in your system. So I do got questions related to types of attacks, whether they are social or application, and different types like SQL injection or XML injection, phishing, wishing. So you make sure again you read all those attacks, different type of attacks properly. Don't take them lightly, don't ignore them. You will for sure get questions related to those. And yeah, one more thing, they are the questions actually which are the easy ones. Okay, so those questions will be straightforward. Like someone, you have a database, someone is trying to manipulate your database using sending some request via your web browser. What kind of attack is it? It's SQL injection, we know that. So those are straightforward questions, the easy ones. So make sure you read them properly, you have good understanding, and read the questions related to that. They are free easy marks, and you will be quite benefited for those easy questions, because ultimately why I passed, because of those easy questions. I didn't miss them. I properly answered them. So though they are very important again. All right, so yeah, I believe this actually ends the whole journey of this Get Certified Together series. I know I missed few times, I didn't follow the schedule. It's very bad from my side, and I'm extremely sorry again. I told you in one of the episode, I was moving from Singapore to London, and it was a big work, big personally for me, with whole my family moving in London. We are still settling in, so that's why episodes got delayed. Sometime even the setup which I was making for whole recording, to do it myself, I was learning Audacity, because someone have to learn how to record these episodes at the first place, right? So it was a good time with this whole series, with this CompTIA exam, and I'll for sure will be starting another series which is related to CCSP, which I am preparing these days, and I'll be only start recording those episodes once I myself get CCSP cleared, because I don't want to be that teacher which himself is a failure but want to pass other people. I mean, it's no disrespect, but that's a good job as well. Even if you are failing yourself, you should share knowledge. But I personally, I want to get myself past the exam, then get a good understanding of the whole topic, and then only I would like to share with you guys on same channel, same series as well. Yeah, so just keep checking Technocofe webpage. subscribe, and I'll drop a notification via this series itself. So all existing listeners, you will get, of course, you will, if you have subscribed to this podcast, then you will get a notification that a new series is starting soon. So I'll be sharing here as well. All right, all the best for the exam. Good day and best of luck.